Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.
Love on Campus acknowledges that we meet on the traditional lands of the Kaurna people of the Adelaide Plains. We recognise and respect their cultural heritage and beliefs and relationship with this land. We acknowledge that these lands are of continuing importance to the Kaurna people living today, and we extend that respect to other Aboriginal language groups and other First Nations people.
Hi, welcome back to Love on Campus. I'm Amy Matthews and I'm here today with Kathleen Stanley.
Hello.
And Georgia Nichols.
Hello.
And today we are moving on to a subgenre, which I have to admit I got a bit confused about. Is this a trope? Is this a subgenre?
You know what? I had the same thing where they were calling it the bucket list trope, but I thought it was a subgenre.
Anyway, we're going with bucket lists, which could be a subgenre or a trope, but we're going to treat it as a subgenre.
Yeah, I feel like trope implies that it's a little bit plot-based.
Well, romance-based?
Yeah.
Because this might be just the character, not the romance.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, I got dubbed in to do this because I do have a book out at the moment called Someone Else's Bucket List. Feel free to go and order.
Definitely.
Brilliant book.
They have to say that because I'm their supervisor.
No.
No, I don't. I really don't have to say that. I could have just left that quiet and just pretended I didn't know anything about it. And just
haven't read that.
Yeah, it's on my list. Except I devoured it in like 3 days and cried and laughed, and it's beautiful.
So we're going to talk bucket lists in romance, and I think it's really interesting because I thought there would be a lot of them and there aren't.
No. Just even a quick Google search. I'm not coming up with like anything.
So we're going to have a chat through why that might be and what ones there are and what happens in them because they tend to have common denominators. But I thought we could kick off with, do you guys have a current bucket list?
Not current.
I feel like I have a macro bucket list.
Okay, what's on the macro?
Macro.
Well, macro is move to London is one.
I like that one.
That's it.
That's it. That's
well,
it.
I mean, yeah.
That's a big thing.
I mean, write a book is
Write a
also
book, yeah.
on the bucket
Yeah,
list.
okay,
Write a
okay.
book.
Can I pick Be As Big as Emily Henry?
On
I
the
would like.
bucket
I would like to be like have a bestseller. That would be good.
That's nice.
Absolutely. On the
I like
bucket
it.
list.
I like
Okay,
it.
you can't control it though. I actually think your bucket list needs to be something. You
Yeah,
control.
I was like, I feel like
That's
I
not
have an
controllable. That's a
aspiration.
fantasy.
Well, that's an aspiration list,
A
and I could do that.
manifestation, like something that you
So
need
it
to
should be
start.
something you can control. I
So
think.
writing a book is something you can control, but getting it published or having it on a bestseller
can't.
list, you can't. So
You
writing
could
a book
control
is bucket list.
self-publishing if you wanted to, but yes, writing is bucket list.
Yeah, true self-publishing. But I feel like for me, I would want to be traditional published. Nothing against self-publishing. Totally fine, whatever choice you have. But that would be my bucket list that I couldn't control. So it would have to go on my aspirations list.
Yeah. So both of you would have finish your PhD on your bucket list.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
just in the life plan.
I also-
is a bucket
that's
list a
almost-
life plan? Because
Would it be?
gonna
I think
say-
the bucket list is if I died and I hadn't done it.
Hadn't done it.
How would I feel?
Well, I
Okay,
think that
yeah, then
if I
finish my
died and I
PhD.
hadn't finished my PhD,
Oh.
if I died and I hadn't finished my book, like my book,
Yeah.
and I hadn't written a
Lucky
book.
for you, they're the same.
Yeah, thank God. So if I write the book, I'd finish the PhD. But if I died and I hadn't written a book, I think I'd be a bit.
Yeah, I felt like that
Disappointed.
when I started out. I remember
Yeah.
thinking if I can just publish one, it'll be
Yeah.
okay. I won't be a failure if I can publish one. That's what I want.
Even just knowing that I can write it would be nice.
yeah, I would like to write a book before I die. That would be a nice bucket list item as well. But I'm technically going to be published in an academic book
Yes, you are.
at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's a moment.
So being published for me, like I feel like I will be published before I die, so it's fine. I can tick that
Woohoo.
part off the bucket list. But being published in the genre that I want to be published
Yeah.
in, like romance, writing a romance. Yeah, but I don't know if I would say it's bucket list, but because I don't know if I could control it. But I could write a book.
Yeah.
Anywhere you really want to go?
Yeah, to see travel would be on
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
That would be my next thing.
Yeah, I feel like travel's always one to do.
I think I get scared. Okay, this is the point, right? This is the difference between I'm the Jodie in your book, who wants to have a bucket list, but I find that a bucket list, the idea of me not finishing it or the fear of the hope and wanting these things
Ooh.
makes me feel really anxious or makes me feel like bad in some
Doesn't
way.
that tie into like why
you would write one?
Yeah, and why romance protagonists
Yeah,
have bucket
I'm
lists
like,
as well.
I would be the person who needs to have it for my awakening in my romance book because I think that I get a little bit scared to have too much hope on those things, and I prefer to just have.
I mean, I'm not really a planner, so the idea of having a list of things I have to tick off is a little bit scary. I don't know, like my day-to-day life, I don't.
So I find the idea of a list I can't tick off. Like if I can't get all those.
You're like
ticked-
polar
yeah.
opposites.
Yeah.
But I will say, Georgia, you did have a thing of like the European holiday and then planning it and making it happen.
Yes, that was on the bucket list, and so it is being ticked off. But that's, now I feel like that's been achieved. It's being achieved in, a couple of weeks for me.
Best kind of bucket list where you actually
where
do
I
the
can
things.
do it. I know. I suppose there are many things in that trip that I want to do. Also would be on the micro bucket list, but such as I want to see a play in the West End.
Yeah, that's well worth it.
Yeah, which I actually have booked. So I suppose I've also fulfilled that.
Well done. Now we're just going to see the pics on Instagram.
Yeah, and I want to like swim in the ocean, like in the Mediterranean Ocean. I want to see
You
the
were
Blue
just
Grotto.
saying you didn't like swimming in the ocean.
I know, but strangely I feel like the Blue Grotto and like Amalfi
it would be
Coast,
different. It's different than
It's like
South
clear-
Australia with the sharks
with
and
the
the cold
horrible
water.
but like the Blue Grotto I really want to go see. I
would like to drink champagne in Champagne.
Yes, I would like to
very
have
meta.
an Aperol spritz, or actually a limoncello spritz personally. Yeah, but I'll keep you guys updated as I tick them off.
I want to just go see some great wild places. I'd like to go glamping in some pretty nice places. I'd like to see some mountains and some lakes. I wouldn't mind going like walking Switzerland. That would be fun.
Oh yeah.
See, if we're talking about things we just want to we'd like to do, yeah.
Yeah, that's the bucket list.
Oh, we're going to make
But
this
I
happen.
don't know. That's the thing. I think a bucket list is a little bit more accountable.
Yeah. This is a smart goal, right? Actionable, and you have.
I
to
think
actually do
everybody can
Yeah, it's a smart
dream.
goal.
It's a bucket list. I'm going to sound this is going to sound horrible, but I think a bucket list might be a little bit more privileged.
Yeah, because you can do it, but they could be
Yeah.
small things.
But that's
Yeah,
what I
your
mean.
micro
That's what I
list.
mean. I'm like, depending on who you are, it's going to look really different, right?
Like Amy, what were you talking about? That book where things her boobs needs to see.
Oh yeah, I'm going to go through them now. So I was just going to read you out some of the things I've found. So, and I'm just going to remind everyone before we kick off that our book club book this month is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. And she has a to-do list. She doesn't call it a bucket list, but it is a bucket list.
Yeah.
She has this to-do list.
It's a get a life list, I suppose. That's what she calls it.
She calls it her Get a Life list, which I will read that one out too, even though we're not on book club in a minute.
Wait, can I just ask one quick question before you read out?
Yeah.
Where does the term bucket list come from?
Kick the bucket.
Kick the bucket.
Yeah, okay, go on.
You kick the bucket is
It's to die.
Yeah, to
So
die.
it's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
your list
Before
you
you
do before
kick
you
the-
kick the
yeah,
bucket.
Yeah, I was like, for people at home who need.
Oh, right.
we were explaining it to
Very
you. I
clever.
know.
I was like, I
It's
know.
like being in the classroom.
I was like, Charlie, Kathleen.
What?
I was putting it like we need to explain to everyone what a bucket list is.
People, now you know.
Sorry, guys. I probably should have phrased that better.
So I was just going to do a random plug for my book again.
Yay.
So the ones in my book, mine's about a sister who dies of cancer and leaves her unfinished bucket list to her younger sister. So the ones that are on her list, they're out of order because she had 100 and she's crossed off most of them, but she's only got 6 left. So number 17 is left, and that's plant a tree. Number 39 is take the piano lessons she never took. Number 73 is to go act out the Harry Met Sally scene in Katz's Deli.
Great one.
I love that film. Number 74 is to do a walk-on cameo in a Broadway play. Number 99 is to fly over Antarctica. And number 100 is to fall in love. So you see where that's going. But then...
It's sad that fall in love isn't like ticked off.
I know.
That's
right?
like the
Heartbreaking.
saddest bit. Actually, if I had to say macro bucket list, if there's something to tick off,
Fall in love.
it's fall in love. Well, I think that would be on everyone's if you haven't done it.
If you're
I
a
don't know.
romance fan, definitely.
Yeah.
If you're not
'Cause, like,
asexual.
you've just like, yeah. If
You can fall in love though.
yeah, you can fall in
True.
love. You just,
I think a lot of, but I don't know if that would be on a bucket list.
yeah, it's
Maybe.
like, I don't know.
Just not sex.
Yeah, just not
Yeah.
sex. That's the concept of asexual, yeah. But
Yeah.
they can still have romantic relationships. Yeah, that feels like hearing it. You say that like the last one there that's not ticked off
I
is
know,
fall in
it's
love. I'm
very
like,
sad.
oh God,
Particularly because she's only 26.
yeah,
so-
oh God, it actually that would
It's get a
frustrating.
tissue box for this book. It's a rom-sad, not a rom-com. It's funny too,
Yeah.
but it's sad.
It's a little bit of everything. It's nice.
It is. It's a life journey.
But definitely for the first, you'll need the tissues straight away.
First few chapters.
Yeah.
And then your heart will be mended. So anyway, the one Georgia was referring to is also by another Georgia. Her name's Georgia Clark, and it's called The Bucket List. And this one is about a woman who finds out she has the cancer gene. And so she has to decide, do I have the double mastectomy? Like Angelina Jolie did this, I believe.
Yeah.
Christina Applegate did, I think, as well.
Yeah.
He now has MS.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Yeah.
And so honest. So she has to decide in the book whether to have the double mastectomy or not. And when she decides to do it, she and her friends are like she's like, there's so many things my boobs haven't done.
Can I preempt something that needs to like be done with the boobs?
Yeah.
Like something that the boobs. Well, surely flash someone is one of them. That's what I'm thinking.
Ditch the bra.
Yeah, like that. In my mind, that has to be something that the boobs have to do.
Well, she's like, I've wasted my boobs. I've not appreciated my boobs their whole lives. And so she and her friends make a boob bucket list of all the things her boobs need to do before they go.
That's great.
And I gather it's quite a sensual journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's true. Like, I don't
Have
think
you read it?
appreciate your life or yourself. I haven't read it yet. It's actually on my pile.
I actually really want to read that now because I want to see what her
it's
boobs
really
do.
cute.
I know, I want the list.
The cover has 2 cupcakes on the cover. It's really cute. It's very good.
We make a lot of those noises, Georgia, together at the same time.
Insane. Twins.
And then I'll read you another one and 2 more, and you'll see a theme emerging. There's another one by Sarah Reddy called The Fall in Love Checklist. And it's about Danny, who gets dumped and is diagnosed with cancer all at the same time.
Cancer.
Okay.
And she does a 10-step checklist, and she has there's a guy named Jack who helps her do the checklist. And then there's another one called The Fucket List, and Becca has cancer. And
Seeing
so
a theme
has
here.
buckets. Yeah. So there was only one really that I know of off the top of my head. There are others. There's another one, I can't remember the title now, but it's about a mother who dies. This is English, I believe. And her 3 daughters are estranged. And so in order to get their inheritance, they have to get together over the summer and complete their mother's bucket list together. So that's not a romance, that's a women's fiction. But then this is the only one I found where cancer wasn't involved, which is Lily Bennett's Bucket List by Catherine Dyson, where Lydia Gray discovers Lily Bennett's bucket list in a shopping trolley and is reading someone else's bucket list, another theme here, right? And she thinks, so I'll read the bucket list out. Number 1 is ride a horse. Number 2, jump off a 10-meter diving board. Number 3, climb a mountain. Number 4, go camping. Number 5, roll. But camping is a thing.
Can I just
camping
say,
is a thing. Why
that's
hasn't
literally what I was
anyone-
going to say. Why does everyone want to go camping? Did
Why
they not
haven't
grow up
they?
in
Yeah,
Australia?
Yeah, it's such an Australian thing to go camping.
I'm sorry.
Number 5.
Is this not how you holidayed as a child?
Number 5, ride a roller coaster. Number 6, learn to surf. Number 7, go stargazing. Number 8, get a tattoo.
heaps.
Number 9, do the scariest thing you can think of. So
Oh, I hate those ones.
They're all a bit big.
Vague.
they're quite, like roller coaster,
Generic.
surfing,
Yeah,
camping.
no.
So
But I also just hate the whole do something scary, do something this. I'm like, no, be specific.
Kathleen's marking up your list.
I'm sorry. I would like that edited and give me something real because that to me that's a little bit lazy. Like, come on, give me something. But also I get it. It's like so that they don't reveal what the big thing's
which is
gonna
probably
be in the
falling
book.
in love, right?
Yeah.
Well, see, at least you gave it something concrete, Amy. I think that's better.
So in this one, so she reads this list she's found in a shopping trolley, and then she asks herself, what would Lily Bennett do if she
Right.
found this? And Lily Bennett would finish it because it's Lily Bennett's list. So she goes to finish this list. But I did note most of the time the bucket lists come about because of the threat of kicking the bucket.
Yeah. Well, the Chloe
That
Brown
makes
one,
sense, I guess.
It's
Yeah.
different.
But it's
No,
it's
she's
health
not, though.
it's health scare motivated.
She's like it
always
is
gets
a
hit
health
by a
scare
car.
or like
Yeah.
it is
Starts-
death motivated.
Yeah, it starts once upon a time Chloe Brown died nearly. So
Like what other scenario could you have a bucket list in? I suppose is the idea. Like
well, because it's got to have time pressure or be motivated. Right?
yeah.
And I think too the difference between a bucket list and a checklist, because you did mention some of them are more checklisty.
Yeah. But they, like,
because I have an idea for a book that is a checklist, not a bucket list,
right,
for dating. So it's like I've told you guys about it before. It's about like taking those really cheesy things about romance and putting a heroine through her performing them to see if it makes someone fall in love with her or not.
Yep.
And so that would be like a checklist where she has to go through and do the things.
Kind of like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Where
Very
she has to
much.
do all the things that men wouldn't like.
Yeah. All the
fall in
things,
love with.
all the things that women do wrong.
Yeah.
Ugh, what a framing. But that's how it's framed.
But like I'm trying to think of like other scenarios where like a checklist or a to-do list or a bucket list would work. And I think, well, I'm thinking of a movie with Aubrey Plaza. I don't know if you guys have seen it, The To-Do List.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, I think I have, but a long time ago.
It's so funny.
I love her.
It's so funny.
Is that when she works at the pool?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's a sexual to-do list that she has to do
very
before.
sexual.
Yeah, it is. It is very sexual. But you know what? It's funny because she's like this very like clinical, like study focused person, and she's like, well, before I go to college, I need to do all of these sex things because I think Americans have a thing about college and
it could be a virgin going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's really good, and that's like a coming of age thing almost, if you will, like a coming of age to do list. That's another scenario that I think a to do list or a checklist.
I do think you could have a checklist like things that I want to do before I get married, like if you were engaged.
Yeah.
Or like if
like they
you
could
were
try
thinking about
living
having a
together.
child,
Like,
things I want to do before I have a baby. Or,
yeah.
Isn't that interesting though that we view these moments like these are like I think it's about those big moments where you know your life's going to shift.
Rupture
Yeah. Well, I was thinking like before someone getting married, you could do like a to-do list of maybe trying to figure out all the worst things that could possibly happen, or like do all these like tests, if you will, before and see if the guy makes it out of them.
Oh man, that's not a likable heroine though.
No, I know. But it could be, I don't know, maybe they hate each other and they're both, I feel like this is a concept for a book.
Don't give it away.
No, I feel like it is a book. I feel like where like they both hate each other and they're both coming up to the marriage and neither one can back out, and so they're doing all these like tricks and tests
things
to see if they can get the other one to break up with the marriage, but they fall in love at the end again anyway.
When I met Jonathan, he had this ridiculous. He'd broken up with his girlfriend, and we were talking in a bar. We were just friends first, and he said, "I think next time I need a list. I just need a list of questions I ask someone."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Right, test it out on me. What would it be?" And it's really stupid stuff.
Come on!
What's your favorite Star Wars film?
All right.
And I was like, Empire Strikes Back. And he's like, well, yeah, that's the right answer. And then he said, who's your favourite Star Wars character? And I was like, Princess Leia, hands down. And he was like, oh, yeah, I didn't think of that. I thought the right answer would be Han Solo, but of course a girl might say something else.
Yeah.
But he had this whole stupid list of things.
Well, there's like that 30...
I would say Han Solo.
What about
I would have
those
passed.
30 questions to fall in love? Have you seen those? The 33 questions to
Oh,
fall in love?
No, that's a book. That's a book.
Oh, that's a book? Well, that's...
Yes, I've read that book.
What are the 30? I'm looking it up.
It's like 33 questions to fall in love, and apparently if you ask someone all
It's
of these
non-fiction,
things,
right?
I'm going to read. No,
It's
there's
like
a
a
romance
genuine
book.
list.
There's a romance
Oh
book
no, because
about it.
originally, yeah, it was a article. I remember.
Yeah.
and I
Yes, it
remember
is.
seeing the non-fiction book.
Oh, it's on the New York Times.
I'm
36
looking it up.
questions that lead to love. I'm not.
Oh, can
signed up.
I read them out to people? So you
Yeah,
can
because
find
I'm
out.
not signed up to the New
You
York
can
Times.
find out on the New York Times from January 9, 2015. And I actually think I saw
This would be fun.
this at Writers Week as well.
I'm just looking up the book while you do that.
Okay, set one. Giving him the choice of anyone in the world, who would you want as a dinner guest?
Do you want us to answer?
Yeah.
Wait. Before
We
we
might
get,
fall in love
this
to
is
it.
the book is The Love Experiment by Ainsley Patton.
Yeah.
Patton.
Yeah, I think this is a great
And
basis for a
they
book.
do this for an article. They go through and the two
Yeah,
people in
I
the
saw
news
them.
office do all these
how fun's
questions
that?
and they do fall in love. So okay,
Come on. Okay, so who would you
Sorry.
want as a dinner guest?
Audrey Hepburn.
Oh,
Stephen King. I want to talk to Stephen King. Oprah?
Ooh, no.
Harry Styles.
Maybe, yeah, Harry Styles. But actually, I was watching a clip of the Drew Barrymore show this morning,
love her.
and I love her. I feel like it'd be
Yes.
really unhinged and
Yes,
fun.
yes.
But then
She
the
would
other
be
one who
great.
came to mind is,
We're the exact same age.
oh shit, you guys look great. You're the same. You got the same vibe.
I actually think Amy looks younger.
I also have the Miriam Margolyes also came to mind, but that would just be
She would be
really-
amazing.
she'd be
Bell
really-
Hooks. Bell Hooks.
Yeah,
Bell
Bell
Hooks.
Hooks is a good one.
All right, number 2. Would you like to be famous? In what way?
Yes.
Famous author. Thank you.
Yeah.
Tick.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Three.
think we'd all pick the same one there.
Wouldn't mind being a famous actor. That'd be kind of fun too.
I actually think it would be shit. I think it looks better than it would
Yeah,
be in
that's why
reality.
I
If
think
I
it'd be
could
fun.
sing, rock star would be fun.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I would prefer to be a
Yeah.
musician than an actor, even though I tried to be an actor. So all the people out there right
we
now who
all
know
do
me, who are
drama?
calling me out right
we
now.
all do drama. I was an actor in high school.
I did drama but got super anxious and dropped out.
I went to
loved it.
LA and did Stella Adler.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how serious I was.
Okay, number 3. Before making a telephone call, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say? Why?
Yes, because I'm anxious.
No, because I can't be bothered.
This sums you two up.
Yeah.
Do I? Maybe if I'm anxious, but not always.
Yeah.
4. What would you constitute? We're like the 3 bears.
Yeah.
Too hot,
Too
too cold,
hot, too
right,
cold, just right.
in the middle.
But it shifts depending on what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
4. What would constitute a perfect day for you? I'm sleeping in.
Yeah, I'm sleeping in.
yeah.
I'm definitely sleeping in.
And I get to eat all of my favorite foods, like not necessarily all at once, but like everything I eat that day is the best meal I've eaten. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
it always tastes good and it's
I'm
yummy.
going out to dinner somewhere.
I'm with Jono, and maybe on holidays, sleeping in, maybe get out and getting coffee, going for a walk, maybe
Yeah.
going skiing, and then going to a really good restaurant for dinner.
I feel love and secure all day.
Oh, that's nice. What about you, Georgia? Italy, Harry Styles.
Yep.
London, Harry Styles.
London,
at the
Harry
concert. He
Styles.
sees you.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. He sees me in the crowd.
He's like, Georgia,
Yeah, and that's it.
I've been following you on TikTok this whole time.
I love how every time this happens, Amy picks on you. She's like, I know, Georgia, it's Harry Styles related.
It's okay, we need a running gag. And
It's
this
Yeah,
is
that's
it.
it. That's the running gag.
Now there's going to be like all these people you don't know who are like, Georgia.
Georgia and Harry Styles.
Well, you know, we can manifest.
Yeah.
Number 5, when did you last sing to yourself? In the car.
Yeah,
on the way
in the
here.
car on the way here.
What did you
Definitely.
sing?
Whatever was on
Whatever
the
was
radio.
on, I think. Yeah, I can't.
And when did you last sing to somebody else?
My year 7 singing concert.
I can't answer this question.
I sing at
Right
my
now?
kid. I do.
Yeah,
I
my
sing to
brother
my
Max
child.
sings at me. Like he'll randomly just start singing at me. He'll stare really intensely and start singing at me.
Yeah, I do it to Isla.
Yeah, he
I
just
do.
really randomly, and I'm like, okay.
If I'm mad, sometimes I sing at them what I'm mad at.
Yeah,
Makes it
I
seem
sing
nicer.
a lot walking around the house. I sing to my pets all the time.
Yeah, maybe I sing at Tilly. Like if I'm trying to talk to her about something, I'm like, are we gonna go for like? Are we gonna go for a walk?
I used to sing to my cat in pretend French, and she would literally follow me everywhere. And it was like, because it's like pretend French, it's not real French, but I would be singing to her in pretend French, and she would just follow me everywhere. She loved it.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what's wrong with you because this is really bad. But okay.
Right. Is anyone feeling loving feelings yet? So we're up to number 6.
I certainly feel it.
I feel close to
synergy.
you.
I feel bonded.
I feel yeah.
If you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or the body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of your life, what would you want?
Mind.
Body.
Mind.
The body. I don't think my mind's gonna get that bad.
Oh my gosh.
You do get, like your mind gets better, but then it gets
Yeah.
bad.
It gets
Yeah,
bad.
So I'm going
I
body.
think
mind.
Because like I may
I really
as well be
liked
insane.
my body when I was
Yeah.
30. It was good.
I may as well be insane, but like running around. You know. Like,
I would like to
That's
have
fine.
I would like to have my mind so that I can literally make the right choices at the end of my life.
I think I'd be
and
body.
not be an asshole
I mean,
and
I
bother
feel-
people and
I feel like
Oh
I'm
no,
a bit
I'm
insane
going to bother
anyway.
people.
I think I'm a bit insane anyway. Like I
You're
don't know, you know.
charming. You're
But like,
yeah, I don't think you're insane. Maybe
but like, do you know what I mean? Like, at least I think I am. So I may as well actually be insane at the end.
no,
you know?
I'm scared of dementia and things like that. So I would want a fresh mind, a sharp mind. I don't want to forget where I am or who I am.
Give me
can
the
I
body.
have both?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
7. Do you have a secret hunch about how you will die? Oh, that's dark.
Well,
Okay, no, not a hunch, but I
Happy.
did used
I'm
to
going to die happy. There you go.
I used to
Yeah,
have
lovely.
I used to have a secret wish of
Oh.
how I would die, which would be when I was really old under anesthetic. So because I had this idea that I wouldn't feel it, that I'd be like just drifting off to
Yeah.
sleep and
My
never wake
grandmother
up.
died in her sleep.
Yeah, so it's basically in your sleep, but I have this fear that if it's in your sleep, that it's not as peaceful as if I was under medically induced
Medically
sleep.
induced. No.
Yeah.
All right, 8. This is interesting. So, Georgia,
I feel like everyone here,
have
by the way, is
to-
learning an awful lot of personal stuff about us.
well, you don't have to answer. Georgia, you're going to pretend that your partner is Harry Styles for this one, okay?
Lovely.
Number 8.
Because everyone, I do not have a partner. So
Name-
it's Harry Styles.
Name 3 things you and your partner appear to have in common.
Oh, lovely. Well, he reads bell hooks. I know that.
Oh, Harry.
Does he though?
He
Good on
does. He
you.
quoted it in an interview, like him literally say, I was just, but you know what, maybe it's PR, but I don't think it is because
He
he's
has
not that
been
smart.
watching your TikToks.
He has been, he knows.
He's not pulling
Well, we both read bell hooks and let's suppose he
He's
likes
doing
her.
like a femo thirst trap there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know.
that's what I mean. I was like, wow, okay.
Well, that's kind of his whole vibe, isn't it?
Totally.
Oh,
What,
well,
there's only one, Bell
yeah,
Hooks.
I know. I don't really know that much about him.
Both tall.
You're both snappy dresses.
Yeah, snappy dresses. There you go. Thank you, Amy. I don't know.
You both probably like British people.
All right, he does keep dating Americans though.
He does.
All right.
Oh, that's good. That means you both like foreign. Like you haven't
Foreigners.
attached to foreigners.
Kathleen, 3
Oh,
things.
3 things that we seem to have in common. We both have high moral codes.
Yeah.
We both love pop culture and silly things like that.
Yeah.
We're both homebodies.
Right.
Lovely,
That's good.
Amy.
Okay.
share?
We're pretty easy really because like we're both writers.
Yeah.
We both basically live by sense of humour. Like everything's a joke. And then I would say everything. Like we both are homebodies who are quite extroverted when we're out.
Yes,
both-
that's Dean and I too.
We're both flirts. We both love cooking. We both love restaurants. We
That's
both
so
love
many.
Oh,
traveling.
this is
We
8
ba-
things.
we
Hang on a second.
we basically have nearly everything in common.
That's really nice.
Except he's probably grumpy to my sunshine most of the time.
That's the same with me and Dean. I'm definitely the more positive version of Dean. He's like, but when we're out socially, he seems really like that.
Jono's like totally on when he's out. He's such a
Yeah, so is Dean. And then you get home and he's so negative, and I'm like, excuse me, you are not like this.
9. What do you feel most grateful for in your life?
Oh, recently it's been like my education and like my ability to get my education. I don't know. And like what I'm doing now, getting my PhD, I'm really grateful for. And my friends.
Yeah, basically all of it.
Yeah.
We're here. All right,
Yeah.
so I'm going to skip ahead because they get pretty deep and dark, and we're going to find.
What's the last one?
What's the last one? That's a good one. There's 3 sets of them. They go
Yeah, there's a
forever.
lot.
Oh no, I don't like that one. It's too
Because there's
personal.
ones like, I think, but there's ones that are like you have to sit and look in each other's
Yeah,
eyes for 3
yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Oh my god, some of these get really dark.
It's probably good to have it as like a, like if you had your characters do it in for a book.
Yeah.
like, as
That's why
like
I think the love experiment is
Yeah.
them doing the, is them
But it
doing
would be good to like actually like as a writer beforehand answer it as your character.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good thing. We should do that in one of our little writing groups.
Yes, like a
I'd love
character,
that.
like a
Maybe
All
I'll do
right.
it.
profile.
Dear
list.
all my PhD students, prepare for that. Okay, so how about this one? We'll just do this one last. It's number 26. Complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share ...
I already do have someone that I can share ... I guess it's a love experiment for people who haven't got it,
So you
right?
can't say something like a life.
Yeah, well, you could say anything really. I like sharing. I like your point, Kathleen. I feel like one of the great things about my partner is I can share the mental load.
Yeah.
That's a really good answer.
And if I'm having a really bad day, even if we were fighting or not getting along, if I was having a really bad day, he would pour me a glass of wine and give me a hug.
Yeah, Dean makes the best cup of tea.
Oh,
I have this thing that I want to write a romance where the person has their thing is that they need to find someone who can make them the perfect cup of tea,
oh.
but
That's
it has to be
cute.
unspoken because I didn't tell Dean how I like my tea. He
That
worked it
happens
out.
in Kit McBride. He makes
Yeah.
her the perfect cup of
Oh
tea.
yeah, he does.
But I think it's those because it's the little things, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, can I tell you a divorce
Yeah.
story? When I got divorced. So
You sure can.
I had been with my ex for 17 years. And about the time I left him, it was a mutual breakup really. But there was a moment where he was making a cup of tea and then he didn't know how I took it.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
that's what I mean.
After
That's like,
17
it's like the
years.
break. It's like the point where you really go,
He didn't know if I took milk. Did I take sweetener?
But see, that's what I mean. And I want to write a romance where it's like she keeps meeting guys who almost know her cup of tea, but they don't pay enough attention to get it right.
and the title has to be "You're Not My Cup of Tea."
Yes. See, and it's just about paying. It's like the little tiny details
I think
of
that's
paying
what-
attention. Like
that's-
how
yeah.
freaking lazy
Well,
to
that's
not
what
know.
romance
Sorry,
is a
Amy.
bit about.
Yeah.
It's just like that. What romance is a bit about, especially with the heroes. It's this idea that they're like attuned to even the smallest of details.
Yeah.
But what's
And I
it-
bet you knew how to make your ex's cup of
Oh,
tea
yeah.
or whatever.
Always.
Exactly.
Always.
Exactly.
But you
'Cause we
guys
always
have been
do
on.
know.
You guys have been on Zoom meetings with me. Jono just brings in me a tea
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
coffee.
Dean
I
does
don't
the
even
same.
I don't even need to ask for it. It
Dean
appears.
does the same. It just appears.
I do it back too.
Yeah, exactly. But
so-
it's in a weird.
It's like
the bar
every
is
time,
so friggin'
every
low.
time
The bar is so
Yeah, I know.
friggin' low, and
Every time
sometimes
the-
they still don't reach
Every
it.
time the kettle's boiled, there's 2 cups coming out of it, not just one.
Yeah.
Aw.
That's it. Yeah.
Anyway, getting back to lists, I think what's interesting about this is that there are always lists involved with couples and romance and dating. Like you always have you always
What
have
you really
some kind of
want.
list in your head. I always find it weird when they're physical. I know a lot of people have a physical type. Like
Yeah.
most people have a physical type.
I have a very strong one, but it's really unintentional.
And I do wonder.
Do you want to guess what it is?
I wonder if yours will change. But I wonder if yours
Let
will
me see.
change.
Does
Georgia.
it wear a gold spangled jumpsuit?
Is it a floppy head British man?
It's really unintentional.
Is he old?
But he may,
Slightly artistic.
he
and, like,
honestly is the blueprint. Though. So
But I think older than Harry Styles would probably be your norm.
oh god, so many things being revealed.
It's fine. Everyone has a type. But also, I honestly think you don't usually end up with the thing you think
Yeah,
you're going
oh,
to end up
yeah.
with.
No.
Like, because chemistry is a weird thing. Like, I don't think chemistry pays attention to what people look like or what
No,
job
no.
they have.
Well,
And that's what I was going to say to Georgia. I think hers will change. Like she's this really. I would probably no. I don't think I ever had a very strict aesthetic, but I think when I was younger, I would have been more likely to have had one.
Well, I've had friends.
And the
who
more
are
I
like,
dated, the more I
have to-
realized I did
Yeah,
not
like,
want
he
to
must
stick
be
to my
this.
aesthetic. Like no.
Well, I have a couple of friends who would be like, I'm not dating anyone under 6 foot tall. I'm like, that's really weird. That cuts out a lot of cool
so
people.
So like
Yeah.
basically the extent of my type is like brown hair, brown eyes, right? That's like the
Yeah, right.
extent.
I'm going to make a bet now, everyone, that she's going to end up with someone with blue
Blue
eyes.
Anyway, right. So that's the extent of it. But there are friends who have like they do have specific things where they're like he has to be specifically tall friends, and I'm a tall person, so
Well, yeah, I guess
it's like
that-
they must be this height, and I don't have that.
No,
You know,
I
That's
mean,
good. My tall friends also have that thing of I could
Yeah.
never have been with someone shorter than me.
well,
and
do
it's
you know,
like,
I
oh,
used to
really?
say I could never date someone younger than me, and now I'm with someone younger than me. So
Yeah.
I thought that would be impossible.
I don't think I've ever had those. But
You've
I
never
think,
had a never?
well, no, I've had nevers in the sense of I would never date someone who hit me or was an asshole or you know what I mean, like
yeah.
the
But
ones
never
that
more
everyone
like,
has.
You know, surface level stuff. I
Yeah,
suppose.
I've never really had physical like
made a
thing.
note
Maybe
about
somebody
this.
like I remember once. So I dated a guy. I'm going to tell you this story quickly. I dated a guy once that would not have been typically handsome because I was never really that fussy. I just liked the person. God, I sound really. Whatever. But I remember once my brother telling me it's a story about my neighbour asked my mum why I was dating such an ugly guy.
Oh.
And her son turned around and told her basically where to go and was like, why the hell would you say that? And she was like, because she was like, oh, but Kathleen is so much more beautiful than him. And
This is the thing.
and it was just so ridiculous. But her son actually turned around and basically said, like, no one else had to say anything. And he was like, well, maybe isn't it a good thing that she's not, like, it doesn't really matter. Like, maybe Kathleen doesn't think she's more beautiful than him. Maybe it's, like, about what she thinks and she likes him. And look, to be honest, this guy was an absolute piece of shit. And I should not have dated him. But, you know, at the end of the day, like that just on that kind of topic of aesthetics and things, I'm like, it's so funny because how people also put those expectations on you. Like you must look a certain way, so you must, and I wouldn't have, like, I'm not saying I'm beautiful. I'm just saying
they do
that,
this to
you know.
couples. Like you think about how much crap Hugh Jackman's wife takes, right?
Yeah.
Well, like she must be a beard and he must be gay, all those kinds of things you hear and read. And it's like, that is just so bizarre.
It is. It's so crazy.
To be fair, it happened a lot not to bring it back to Harry Styles, it happened a lot.
Harry and Olivia.
Harry and Olivia. And I do sort of contribute to it sometimes, but there was a lot of like really surface level just stuff where they don't expect someone like
Older.
young and to date someone older.
But she's
And it was
like looks as hot as if she was 18. So like her body looks like an 18-year-old.
They're still there. And like there's so
Exactly.
many that lists are they do come up a lot in terms of like conversation with dating. So I'm surprised that there aren't more books with lists like.
Well, I think there might be more lists than we think of because it's not bucket list.
Yeah,
There's a
it's not
difference,
bucket
right?
list.
Yeah, it's not
but I
bucket
think people do.
We've
have,
gotten a little sidetracked just talking about
because there aren't that many.
Well, you know.
So, but lists in terms of, because where I was trying to get to was this idea that we do carry around checklists, and I think people do have bucket lists that are probably not aspirational, but actual bucket lists that they just don't name in their heads. Like, I want to be kissed. I want to have a great kiss. I would love someone to like be obsessed with me. Like, love
it's like
me so
unintentional.
much. I would love someone to compose a song to me. I'm sure there's all kinds of things that we
and I
are
think
too embarrassed to admit to.
Maybe there's some plot lines of books that are motivated by bucket list items, like someone who's like, I want to be a mother or something like that.
Yeah, there's
and
probably a lot of that.
that
you know.
focus on one sort of thing. Because I
Yeah.
suppose they all each
I want to get
aspect of a bucket
married,
list
you know what I mean? And so they have to find their husband, like a lot of that, you know.
I suppose each aspect of the bucket list romance has an entire story behind it and why someone wants to do it. And
Yeah, you can write a book on each one,
and
really.
how it occurs and like that.
But to go back to chemistry too, like this idea that often the lists we have are a little bit delusional. Just when you were talking before, Kathleen, I remember there was something I forgot to say about Happy Place, because we in our book club session on Happy Place, we went all over the place and barely scraped the surface. But I love that she references smell in that, and thinking about chemistry, about how it's not actually someone's, you know, height or job or anything in the end. Because there was this amazing Swedish study probably 10 years ago around smell. Did you guys hear about this?
You know what I read?
They
It's
like
tickling my
attracted to
brain.
people's pheromones.
Yeah,
like
with the
specific
T-shirts.
ones.
They got people to wear T-shirts for like a week, like sleep in them and sweat in them, and then they put them in plastic bags, and they got them to sniff the bags.
God, I bet
And-
they were not paid enough to do that.
If they sniffed a T-shirt and they really liked the smell,
That
they would
person's
hook
probably
them
good
up,
for
and
them,
the relationships did well.
yeah.
But so they were talking about the pheromones, that we often react to pheromones, and in
That is a, you know, what is it? There's like that's a reality TV show they need to make.
they probably already
Well,
have.
they're making similar versions of that, right? The ones where they try to not do. What's that one that's on right? It's like on Netflix, and they don't see the person.
Love
they
is
just go,
Blind.
Love is blind. Yeah, like they do aspects of that where they're trying to take
So
away.
they have to get
that.
married on that one.
Yeah, well, they always take them too far in those shows. But I feel like, but a couple of the couples have worked from that show.
Yeah, they have.
But I do think if you react to the chemistry of personality, and then there's a physical thing. And I loved in Happy Place, she references it all the time with how much Harriet loves wind smell. She says, even now I'd buy wind-scented candles in bulk if I could.
Yes.
Well, like she also talks about how
and he sounds like he smells really good.
Well, they also talk about how he's not what she, not what she expected for herself, but like he doesn't expect to fit
No.
what he
and
saw
then
her for. Like
I actually do
for
know
her.
a couple of people who've broken up with people because they didn't like the way they smelled. And I think it goes both ways, that you can be slightly repelled.
Oh my gosh, totally sidelining
Bucket list
this.
must find pheromone.
But in one of those Am I the Asshole posts, there was this girl that wrote in about how her partner used to tell her she smelled. And so she would like clean herself really like he would tell her she smelled, and so she would like clean herself because she thought she must have bad BO or something. And then everyone would be like, you smell too good, like you're too clean almost, because she was just like cleaning herself all the time. And she like went and had a
Needed a different
shower.
boyfriend.
She woke up in the morning and went and had a shower, and she came out of the shower and he literally said to her, "Oh, you smell." And she was like, she just lost it. She was like, "I've just come out of the shower. What do you mean I smell?" And it was like, you know, everyone's trying to guess like that maybe he's got some kind of like issue where, you know how sometimes it's like someone's got a brain tumor and so they can't smell or whatever. It turns out he had learnt this form of negging from his dad, because his dad used to do it to his mum to keep her because he was afraid he'd lose her. Because a woman wouldn't leave a man if she thought she smelled. So she kicked him out straight away. But like,
Oh my God.
yeah, I know. I was like, because I love Emma, our soul posts. Like, I think they're amazing. But I was like, oh my God, like we were watching it on this YouTube channel. They read them out and then have to guess. And Dean and I were just like, can you believe someone would ever do that? Like, but the smell, the idea that smell is so important. And
when you're really attracted to somebody, if they've been working out and they're sweaty, it smells great. Like, really, like BO is not a thing if you're really attracted to someone.
Yeah, but there's all these people, they're like, I really want to just snuggle into his armpit.
Yeah, well, in a lot of romance novels, there's a lot of
that.
like
the idea that they
sweaty snuggling.
Yeah, exactly. And they like don't care about it.
I promised at the beginning that I'd read out, I know we're going to do it in book club, but the list from Get a Life, Chloe Brown, it's right at the beginning. So if you are just starting the book, but this
and
one,
it doesn't give anything away, I think.
No.
So this is Chloe Brown's Get a Life list. What was number one? She hasn't listed number one. It starts with number two. I don't know why that is.
Was her number one to move out?
Oh,
Yeah,
it was.
number
That's
one was
why
to
it's
move
not
out,
on
yeah.
there. So it's already crossed off. So it was to move out. Number two is to enjoy a drunken night out. Seems achievable goal. Number three, to ride a motorbike. Number four, to go camping. There's camping again. Number five, have meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex. Number six, to travel the world with nothing but hand luggage. I don't know why you'd bother. I need my clothes.
Can
Yeah, I know.
Can
Why
I just
does
say
it-
also meaningless but thoroughly enjoyable sex? For me,
That would
that is
be
not
meaningful.
possible. That's not possible. If it's thoroughly enjoyable, it needed to be meaningful.
But also it is meaningful to you.
Yeah.
Then. It was a good time. Number seven, do something bad. So I thought that's where you're saying that's quite those
And
ones
see,
are quite
again,
cheap.
that last one, do something bad, is too vague. I don't like
And it
the
And
vagueness.
what's the scale of
Not really
that?
trying to
Are we
apart.
talking about like not washing your cup, or are we talking about murdering someone?
Exactly. I'm like, give it some parameters because it's too vague. And it's also a lazy one you can knock off by getting like you can trick yourself.
And be like, yeah, that was bad enough. Ticked
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, so I mean, I think there aren't as many bucket list romances as we thought there would be.
No.
But I wonder if it's partly because I think a bucket list is an existential crisis thing.
Yeah, unless a
books-
romancy thing.
Yeah, I think if you had a bucket list around dating, that would be different, or a bucket list around something to do with your relationship. But I think
there's potential for them if you looked at it as rather than a death, it's like the ritual death, right? Of like,
to tie us back to Regis, well done.
yeah, to like make it like before I commit to somebody, before I do these things, before I change my life and fall in love, I need to have had these experiences, because I actually think that is very real. There's a lot of people who say before I settle down, before I settle down.
It's pretty common in romances as well that they have to achieve something before
Yeah.
Yeah.
their relationship occurs.
Which is one of our issues we've been talking about of what about if you were achieving these things with this partner? Like what would be on a list that you had to do that a partner could not be on the ride for, or couldn't be existing in your world and
what
orbit
about the
for?
idea of like a checklist and for
a
a
couple.
partner, but like, and then you have a checklist for a partner and you're going on all these dates and you go on a date and one guy is just not at all fulfilling any of them, but he's the one you fall in love with anyway.
I like that idea, because
Like,
I think
that's
that is actually what happens.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
I looked
me
at
too.
all my friends and me.
I don't know why that makes me think of The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. I haven't read it.
Oh, I've got that on my pile
But-
too.
I haven't read it, and I don't think it has anything to do with checklists. But there's multiple dates in that
No,
one.
it
I think that's
doesn't.
why I thought
It's
about
100%
yeah,
not.
it just has multiple dates on it.
I'm
and
like,
I
as
do
someone who
kinda
has
think
read it,
it's-
no. But I like where you're going.
I just think it went multiple dates, and I said, yeah, okay, that sounds like something. But yeah, the idea that they're going multiple dates.
All
and
right,
all
I've got
that,
one
yeah.
for you. So it can be with your current partner, or if you were single and you were looking for someone. What would be your bucket list of best dates ever that you're going to do, that you want to do in your lifetime?
I don't really like activity-based stuff.
No activity-based dates?
Oh, really?
I just like going for like a chat. Like I want to have a glass of wine and I want to talk to them because I want to know them. I want to know about them. So I want to talk to
So
them.
that never goes away. We're like 11 years in, we still have a glass of wine and chat.
Yeah, I know. But I want to
That
know.
can be
I
your
want to know
everyday if you
immediately
want.
that I can chat to them. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's
So
nice.
bucket list, something to do with talking then.
Yeah, I know. But I don't really let people get away from me unless we've had a quality conversation and I know that we're okay. My friends can attest to that.
I'd like to travel.
Figure out
I
all
think like,
problems.
I think like you said, Amy, traveling, I would like those to become my gold. Like I've talked about it earlier off pod, but my golden age things.
Golden age of travel.
Golden age dates is that we travel and have all the experiences whilst we let life, when life slows down and all these things.
Yeah, we've always had a joke that our whole romance is out of order. We've done all the chapters out of order because I already had kids.
Like the backup plan?
I already had kids when we got together, so we've done child rearing first.
Yeah.
And we'll do dating at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I like the idea of travel, but I also like just I just feel like I sound so cheesy all the time. I just want
This is the place for it.
every new experience. I would really like to share it with my husband. Like, I just feel I'm a shared. I told you guys, I'm a memory person. I'm a shared person. That's why travel for me, it needs to be with someone. But if I'm going to pick the one person, it's going to be my person.
Lucky Dean. Like, what if she
I know,
said something
so
else there,
lucky.
Dean?
I
Dean
have
has
other
been
people I would do
producing-
things with too.
Dean
but
produces our episodes, so we love you, Dean.
I love you the most. Yeah, no, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that I just think every time I think of something like a new food, I always want to share. The problem is I'm a vegetarian and he loves meat. And the one thing I hate is that we can't share meals. Like, I get so jealous of people who we have this really lovely friend couple who we go to the ice hockey.
Share everything.
Yes, and that's what I mean. My friend and I, we go to the ice hockey with this
try
couple.
everything.
And they do. They share meals. They
I'm-
always pick the meals to share, and I'm so jealous.
If I'm thinking about sharing, I saw a TikTok of this couple and they both cry during father-daughter dances. And I was like,
that's so
I was like, how
nice.
cute that's like something you both do. And you're like, it's like this innate thing that both of you do. I also cry with like father speeches, father-daughter dances, big crier. And that would be nice to have someone to cry with.
Yeah,
So you want a guy who's in touch with his emotions, maybe reads bell hooks?
Yeah. Oh, who's that?
Someone who likes weddings.
So I think that's wrapping us up now. That's the end of that. But I think the idea of bucket list is interesting, and we would love to see more bucket list romances.
Yeah. I mean, we're throwing ideas out there.
Yeah,
People
come on,
can
people.
go do them.
Pick them up.
Maybe we should write them.
Well, I can tick that one.
Oh,
It's my
yeah,
bucket
yeah.
list.
You know.
And if you're looking for a really good book this American summer, this Southern Hemisphere winter, please go. Feel free to read my book, Someone Else's Bucket List.
It will have been out for a little time by the time this goes to
Yeah,
air.
it takes
but
a few
it's
months to gather
never
steam,
too-
people. Come on.
Never too late to go and buy one of Amy's books and discover how good she is.
Exactly.
Apart from that, it's an interesting take on the bucket list, thinking about existential. Like, what I was interested in as a research project for that one is, what does love mean in the face of death and the fact that time is finite.
Yes, I
and
like
I
that
think
too.
that is the bucket list idea.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Anyway, I can't think of any better way to spend my days than here with you two. So thanks for joining me for my bucket list session, and we'll see you next week. What are we doing next week?
Grumpy Sunshine.
Grumpy Sunshine. Oh, now this is my personal favourite trope.
Yeah, we're going to have fun
Love
with
this
this.
one. So join us next week for Grumpy Sunshine. If you haven't started our book club book yet this month, remember it is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert, and it's Get a Life list rather than a bucket list. But get ready, and we'll see you next time. See you, Georgia. See you, Kathleen.
Bye.
Love this podcast? Support it and sponsor today. Simply head to ozcastnetwork.com for details.